Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another how to set up your camera video for the best photo and video quality. This time it's going to be on the Pixel 10 series. I'm going to be using the Pixel 10 XL, but almost all of the features are across the board on the Pixel 10 series. So without further ado, let's get started. Today's video is brought to you by Baseus and their new dash cam that finally solves a problem that I've had forever. The Prime Trip VD1 4K dash cam is the first to have a solar panel and lithium battery design, which means you no longer need to have a professional hardwire your dash cam just to get parking protection. With its combination of plugging into USB when the car is on, plus solar panel, you get a parking mode that can last up to 14 days and is generally unaffected by exposure to light. I've always been a fan of dash cams due to them saving me and other people I know from having insurance rates go up sky high by proving it was the other driver's fault. This one has a 4K camera quality in the front with its Sony StarVis sensor, providing amazing looking night vision. It also has a 1080p camera for the rear and allows you to use the Baseus app to connect to your dash cam directly, view playback, and download videos straight to your phone. Buy yours today in the link down below to protect your car in the easiest way possible. All right, now the first one is a classic one, but it's something I always want to make sure people know, and that is you double press the power button to launch your camera. Quick, simple, and easy, but this is going to be the quickest way you can just automatically take a photo right when you need to. So I always want to let people know it's just a quick, simple thing, but you want to make sure you're able to quickly do it. Just double pressing the power button, and that will get you to this segment. Now, overall, we're going to be going over things that are going to make the photo and video quality better. So let's start up here at the top and then work our way down. First off, we're going to have the megapixels right here. So most photo quality you're going to shoot is with the 12 megapixel. Now you can shoot with the 50, but the problem with that is you really need a lot of light and you have to be still. So if this is any quick moving thing, you never want to shoot in 50. This is only really for those instances when you want to take maybe a nice landscape shot and it's bright in the day. Bam, that's when you switch to 50. Otherwise you leave it as is. Now you can try to turn on this camera coach icon at the top. I find it more annoying, but depending on how you are, you might find it useful. For me, it just did not make sense a lot of the time with what photos I wanted to take, but you might find it more useful. On the question icon, this just overall helps you with basic settings that you can do for it. Some of them, it is very aspirational, and some of them it does work. For me, I found the add me to not really work as much as I would like it to, but auto best take does work great. So depending on what you would want, a lot of those features are editing after the fact, and some of them are setting up beforehand, but just to let you know. All right, now we're gonna move to the center, and that is the first thing you should always be able to do is change your EV settings. And we're gonna show you by this. If you tap an icon, you can automatically turn down the brightness, which is this one right here, a little bit. And this is going to give you a much better image. Overall, typically Pixels and most smartphones in general, quite honestly, tend to overexpose and get things a little too bright. And what that causes is just for a little bit, a very bright shot. Whereas if you turn that darkness up, it will look a lot better. So it's just gonna be a subtle thing, but you definitely notice it across the board once you work with more and more things. So that's just one thing. Always recommend tapping it and turning it down here. Now, this is going to be great just for tapping it and taking a photo if you have a one shot you need to do this for. But if you are going to be doing multiple shots throughout the night, then we're going to go through over here. Now, this settings area, you're going to switch it over to -0.3 or minus 0.7 at most. And that will give you just much better experience. I say with Pixels, I tend to lean towards the 0.3 unless it's a very bright sunny day or there's a light at night that's really overexposing it. And that way, once you have it at that, you can just kind of take your photos and it's going to stay at that setting. And again, give you a much better color and shadows than you would have normally. So great to have for your basic purposes. That's going to help you take it better photo quality overall in just your everyday shots. So that's going to help you take better photo quality in just your overall shots. Now, if you have noticed, there's an icon that's been going in and out of this, and that is your macro camera. Now, macro is going to be on auto for the most part. You can't always have it on or off. And the main thing is basically I would have it on auto. If you do not have the brightness level you'd want, then you don't want it on. If you do have the brightness level you want, then you want it off. So basically, depending on your brightness, I would just have it on auto. That way, if you need it and it has enough light, it will switch to macro. If it doesn't have enough light, then it won't switch to macro when you're up close. That's the easiest way, in my opinion, to set that up. All right, and now we're going to move on to the zoom functionality. Now, you can always just tap in right here, or you can actually move them from side to side. So just so you know, you can move it over just by going like this and zoom in automatically that way. If you do want to go to your normal one, so it's 0.5, 1x, 2x, 5x, and 10x. For the Pro Series, it's going to have 3 lenses and it gives you these 3 options. Obviously, it's going to be different ones depending on which one model you have. All right, and now we're going to go over the different modes here. Photo is pretty self-explanatory. It's just a regular standard photo. However, portrait is probably best on the Pixel. This is what I use to make a lot of my thumbnails, actually. So I am very big fan of it. Sometimes I'll go 1x just so it's a little bit better and easier shot to set up. I think 2x is kind of too zoomed in, so I do go 1x typically when it comes to portrait, but this is just such a good ability. You can also change how much this blurring background effect is in different scenarios. So if you do take it, you can always change it after the fact and change how blurry the background is when you edit. So you do have that ability after the fact to do it on Pixel phones. Night sight is truly the best on the Pixel out of any smartphone on the market. If you do want to change how long this is for, you do have the ability to change that here. Basically, if it's dark enough, it will automatically go higher, but you can go ahead and change how long you want that exposure for on here. So go ahead and change your exposure from minimum, maximum would be up to 4 minutes if you have it on a tripod. And then auto will just automatically do it, but you can change that under night sight for your night photography. As long as you know that night sight, the longer it is, the more still you have to be, or else it will be blurry. So automatically it will be on A for automatic, but you can actually make it a minimum or maximum setting if you want to. All right, now before we get to settings, we're going to go over video. And for video, there's definitely one thing you need to know, and that is your video quality you're going to shoot with. So if you tap this icon over here, it brings up the settings menu, specifically on what you're going to change here. Now over here, you're going to want to change 2 things, 4K and 60 FPS. This is, in my opinion, the best quality you can shoot with. It's so lifelike. It's so stunning. Every time I show people videos of 60 versus 30, they're like, wow, that looks lifelike. It looks like you're there. It looks really good. Now, if you do want more cinematic, you do have that option with the 24 FPS, but I would say either shoot at 60 or 24. 30 is just so outdated and so standard that most people really love the quality and look of 60 or 24 nowadays. Now, once you do have it in video setting right here, you are going to also have blurring video. So you can shoot with a blur background for your video quality. This doesn't look as good as your standard portrait shot, I will say, but it's good enough to have a cool effect if you want to try it. All right, and now we're going to go to the settings area. Well, we'll go over first the video settings, and then we'll go back to the photo settings. So for the video settings, the main thing you want to know about is going to be video boost. Now, what this will do is actually upload this video probably overnight and make it so it even looks better after the fact. Overall, I have found this very helpful, especially when wanting to do higher quality videos for social media. So this is really good. Just know that you won't get it till basically the next day, essentially, for the most part. So just know that that's what you're gonna have there. Now, HDR is going to be something that I really only say you should use this if you know what you're doing, or if you're sharing it through Google so it can convert it to SDR after. Most people do not need HDR because you're not going to be doing editing. If you are going to be doing editing, then it's fine, but most social media platforms will see this and just make what's called a flat color, so it will look very dull. So just know that if you're going to be doing high quality editing, obviously the HDR will look great if it can convert it, but if it's not going to convert it, leave it off. I do edit my videos, so I will leave it on. But if I just wanted to do a quick video and automatically upload it to Instagram or TikTok or anything like that, I would definitely have it off. And now going into the photo modes, going to go over a couple of things here. First, top shot is going to be one thing that, again, will just take your best quality photos if you happen to miss one over there. So that's a great thing to have. The other thing is going to be just choose what crop you want. Standard is going to be 4:3. I shoot in 16:9 if I'm going to post it as a thumbnail on social media, but that's the only time I would really do it. On the pro side, we already went over the resolution. This is the other thing. I would just make sure that you have it on auto select for the lens. That way, if it's too dark, it uses the bigger lens instead of your telephoto or your ultra wide, just to make the picture quality look better. Just keep that on auto. And from there, we're going to hit these little 3 dots over here and go into everything else. So this is the latest version of the Pixel. So now we have different settings such as module and different abilities here. So the one thing I will say is for module, you can do ProRes zoom, which I do have installed on here, but you can hopefully get more in the future as this goes on. So always check to see if there's any new modules available. Now, if there's one thing I do like is going to be the grid lines. It just helps you keep a little bit better shot. So I would just have that on if you can, 3:3, so you know how to guide your photo. If you need more advanced stuff, like I said, the camera coach is there as well as the guided frame. For me, that's just the easiest way. Your volume rocker by default is going to be shutter, but you can change it to zoom if you would like instead, or you can still leave it on volume for some reason, but I think most people would want that. Remember what I said about HDR on video? This is going to be the same thing in photos. You can turn this feature on and it will be an RGB style photo, but again, most apps aren't going to be compatible with this format, so I turn it off. I do leave best take on. However, if you do want motion photos as well, then you want to have this off. I like social media depth features. It just makes your overall social media typically look better. However, it turns off the top shot feature. So depending on what you're posting to, I post to social media all the time, so I leave this one on. If I didn't want to post to social media all the time, then I would turn this one off and then turn on this top shot automatically. So depending on what you're looking for, again, that would be my recommendation. Then for video, I would recommend all of these, namely the video format AV1. Now AV1 has pretty much been compatible with most apps, and namely the one that isn't is going to be TikTok as of filming this. But I do like the quality. It is actually the best quality out of the 3, and it's also a very small format. However, again, if you don't want to deal with that stuff, you can just go to this top one over here, 256. It's a smaller format and supported by pretty much every social media format. So those are going to be your 2 options. I typically edit again my videos, so I go to AV1 for my purposes. And the last part here, if you are going to be going underwater, just turn on the underwater photo and video. What this will do is make sure that it's ready for that and also be ready to expel the water through its speakers afterward if need be. And now before we go into video settings, I do want to let you know that there is also, not besides regular stabilization, there is speech enhancement as well, which is just going to be great if you have a very noisy environment. It's going to get rid of things like wind and background noise a lot better. So really good for those kind of things. I would typically just have this on, but it's up to you. All right, now we're going to the selfie camera. First off, I just automatically do it in 0.7 almost every time. I don't know why they even do the 1x, just do a wider shot. I think it's just better overall, so you'll be much happier with it. Then besides that, you can alter a few things here. Mainly, I would say face retouching is what most people would want to generally do. So I like to do stubble, just so if I have dry skin that day, it kind of doesn't show. Or if I didn't shave that morning, it kind of does it. Now, retouch all the way for smooth is a little too much for me. I wouldn't personally recommend it, so I would just leave it at that. But you can have it do nothing as well. So just depending on how you like to take your selfies, that's going to be the best way. And then when we're on selfie and taking video again, I would just go over here and make sure it is at 4K 60 so you get the best overall quality. Now you can't do boost video on the front camera, but this is one of the best vlogging cameras out there on the market. So make sure 4K 60 so you can absolutely get the best quality you possibly can when doing selfies. All right, guys, that is how to take the best photo and video quality on the Pixel 10 series. However, the Pixel 10 does have a lot of editing features. If you want to see a video on that, let me know in the comment section down below and I can go over it. Thank you as always so much for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you so much again for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Also, follow me on social media at YouTube Tech Guy. And check out some more great tech videos on your screen right now.